fans, it's about that time. It's time to get to the quizzing. Here we go with Q1. Stephen King is primarily known for writing in what genre? Horror, romance, poetry. If you don't know the answer to this, you're in the wrong game right now. Plus, I just talked about it a lot. No, King did not write Wallflower Gone Wild, but he did write It, and both are pretty scary. Horror is the answer we were looking for, 149,000 of you knew that. Yeah, Stephen King is a titan of the literary world. He's probably dabbled in every genre out there, but we all know and love him for making our skin crawl, don't we? Q2. What's the name of the clown in It? Bozo, Pennywise, Doink. Why are clowns always so scary? Even the so-called good ones. You know, he was a bit of a bozo, but the clown's name was actually Pennywise. Were you wise enough to get that correct? Let's see, you King fans, 142,000 of you were. Played by Tim Curry in the original TV special and by usually hunky Bill Skarsgård in the new iteration. It's Pennywise the clown, and he'll feast on your flesh as he feeds your fear. Now, don't get savage without an extra life, players. You can use up to 3 of them, as you know, each game. Buy one right now. If you see it on your screen in front of you, you can also buy extra lives throughout the game by tapping on the heart below. They'll work up to the final round tonight, and they even work on prize questions. Okay, we have 4 prize questions at the end of the game. Q3. What kind of dog was Cujo, a Rottweiler, Saint Bernard, Pitbull? It's the type of dog you want to stay far away from. You don't want to play fetch with Cujo. They say dog's a man's best friend. Well, who needs enemies then? It's Saint Bernard. That's the type of dog that he was. You are barking viciously up the right tree. 105,000 of you are. Cujo started off as a friendly doggy ready to heal, but after being bitten by a bat, he transformed into a slobbering monster ready to kill. Yeah, very different dog. After that, Q4. Which of these Stephen King works was released under a pseudonym? Christine, Salem's Lot, The Running Man. These authors love their pseudonyms, don't they? Which one was it though? What feels good to ya? If you went for Christine, you just ran out of gas. It's The Running Man. You are running to the next round. 99,000 of you are. Stephen King has a lot of fans, and so does Richard Bachman, who also happens to be Stephen King, who allegedly wrote The Running Man. Are you as confused as I am? Yeah, probably so. Q5. Which Stephen King character has won its on-screen portrayer an Oscar? Dolores Claiborne, Annie Wilkes, or Paul Sheldon? Deserving of a golden dude? Kathy Bates played 2 of these roles, but only one won her an Oscar, causing misery if you didn't pick it here. Annie Wilkes is what we are after, and I'm going to go with a savage. Yeah, like 60,000, almost 70,000 of you. 46,000 if you're feeling pretty happy. Use those extra lives, players, if you don't have them. Tap that little heart, okay? But yikes, who could forget Annie, the way that she went at James Caan's ankles with a sledgehammer, an award-winning smash session if ever I saw one. Now, if you've answered every question correctly so far, you've already got a ton of points in tonight's game. Want to make that even more points? Of course you do. Add a 10 times point multiplier. Point multipliers count towards points that you just earned and the points that you're about to earn as well. All right. We're here at Q6. Stephen King reportedly didn't like which film adaptation of his book? The Shining, The Green Mile, The Shawshank Redemption. But why? They're all great. Which one didn't he like? We all loved it, but apparently Stephen had a contrasting opinion here. Here's Johnny. It's The Shining. 59,000 of you axed that one. King thinks Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of the movie kind of sucks. He called it a big, beautiful Cadillac with no engine inside of it. But wait, wasn't that Christine? Maybe not. Q7. Which of these Stephen King characters is not also a notable character in the Dark Tower series? Danny Torrance, Ted Brautigan, or Father Callahan? Do you see Idris in the Dark Tower a couple of years ago when that came out? If you vote for Father Callahan, I pray you have an extra life, because it is Danny Torrance, the little boy from The Shining. Remember, 43,000 of you do remember. King has quite a universe full of characters, right? So who could blame him for double dipping once in a while? Torrance can be found again in the upcoming movie sequel to The Shining, which I think is coming out in November. Q8. Which novel was partially rescued by Stephen King's wife fishing pages out of the trash? Salem's Lot, Dolores Claiborne, or Carrie? Hopefully they didn't have curry or something messy for dinner that night. Yeah, thank God it wasn't garbage pickup day. It's Carrie. You are carrying on right now, getting carried away there, 44,000 of you. Carrie was King's first published novel. He thought his writing was trash, so he threw it in the trash. His wife had her wits about her, though, and shoveled through all kinds of gunk to get it out again. Q9, Stephen King's directorial debut featured a soundtrack by the band behind what hit Smoke on the Water, Detroit Rock City, Thunderstruck. Yeah, he directed a movie. This was King's only stab at directing, and it didn't go so well as Thunderstruck. You are thundering forward right now. 20,000 of you are. That was a brutal question. I'm going to go with brutal there. The movie was Maximum Overdrive, if you remember that. It wasn't a hit critically or at the box office, but it did almost take home a golden raspberry. The upside, AC/DC, was on the soundtrack. Q10. What role did Stephen King cameo as in the original Pet Sematary movie? Gravedigger, minister, bus driver. You never know where King's gonna pop up in his movies. It's actually the first King novel I ever read. I was 12 and I was traumatized evermore. Minister. He played a minister. You nailed that, 13,000 if you did. Stephen's books have been made into tons of movies, so he's had tons of cameos, right? And he opted to be a minister in Pet Sematary.
And now, may the Lord bless you and keep you.
Well, no wonder you need to do a lot of praying to escape those zombies. Moving on to Q11, which Stephen King work is widely considered a prequel to his Dark Tower series. Crouch End, The Eyes of the Dragon, The Woman in the Room. All right, let's shed some light on this one. You know, Crouch End will end you, so I hope you went for the one with the hot breath. The Eyes of the Dragon. Your eyes are on the prize, 12,000 of you. Many of King's stories are connected in his multiverse. Eyes of the Dragon, set in Delane, is a great lead-in to the Dark Tower, since it's all in-world, which leads us to our first prize question. Now, our final 4 questions, in fact, are all prize questions. That means 4 chances to win, 4 chances to snag a bag of cash. If you get this next one right, you will have a choice to make. Either take the money and run or stick around for the next one and see how you do. Here we go. Good luck. Let's go. Q12. What were the child actors actually scared of in the filming of the shots? Yeah, Screaming Director, Oncoming Train, or Loose Rats. What were they actually scared of? And they looked pretty scared right there, didn't they? Hilariously scared, actually. There was an oncoming train, but that's not what had them shaking in their boots. It was a screaming director. You are going in the right direction on this savage question. 10,000 of you gone. 2,678 still in the game. Here's extra lives time, methinks. All right, well, apparently Jerry O'Connell, that was him, and Will Wheaton weren't convincing enough with their scared faces, so the director screamed at them. Scream with joy right now, because we've got cash in the bag. Let's see what kind of cash we are working with right now. What do we have? We've got 19 cents. All right. That's pretty penny. To 2,678 players, just one question until the next prize. Back-to-back prizes right now in the game. Back-to-back cash, 364 early winners. Congrats to you, first winners of today's game. Taking home 19 cents, 2,658 still playing as we move on to Q13. Which of these is reportedly the international title to a film adapted from a Stephen King novella? Drafty Cell, Big Mistake, 1995 Fantastic. You can always count on the international community to screw up a good name. If you tapped on Big Mistake, guess what you just made? Yeah, it's 1995. Fantastic. Another savage. Triple the savage. It's triple the savage in tonight's game. 459 of you. Pretty fantastic right now. Yeah, you are. 1995 fantastic was what Taiwan called the Shawshank Redemption. We may be sure about the shank, but we are not at all sure about that name. Truly baffling, as many of you found out there. I am sending cash your way for show. What do we have in the bank right now? We have 459 players. We've got $2.18. That's what we've got on this Thursday night. Want to take it? I want to move on to the next prize question. Again, it's back-to-back prizes in tonight's game. 233 early winners taking that $2.18, and they're running with it. 281 still in the game. Let's go with another prize question, Q14. Which of these Stephen King short stories has not been adapted into any kind of film? Slade, I Am the Doorway, The Ledge. Can't say I've heard of any of these, to be honest. But you true King fans probably have. It's not a film yet, but I'm sure it's coming. You Slade, and so does this book. Slade is the answer. My favorite word to say. 221 of you Slade right there. King wrote Slade when he was a student. He hates it now and won't even let it be reprinted, let alone adapted. Maybe it's not coming soon after all. But this is cash cha-ching to 221 players. What sort of money do we have in the bag right now? We've got $6.79 to 221 players dangling that carrot. Yeah, we are. One question until the next prize. Okay, 15 chose to take the $6.79, 206 still in the game. And you know what? It's time to head into the final round. 206 players still in the game right now. There's going to be big cash up for grabs on this next one. If you get it correct, good luck to each and every one of you. 206 is Q15. Stephen King's longest standalone novel is allegedly named for a lyric by what artist? Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, the Rolling Stones. The big one right here on the triple savage game. Will it be quadruple? If you opted for Elton John, I guess that's why they call it the blues. Tonight, all is silence in the world as we take our stand down in Jungle Land. Those were the lyrics that inspired the title of King's novel, The Stand. It's the boss, it's Bruce Springsteen for the win. Tonight, we have 64 winners. You smashed it. Yeah, that was quite brutal there at the end. I thought it would be 64 winners tonight. Well done to you. You made it all the way to Q15 tonight. And you are taking home $31.25. We've got J. Paul won, and you did win. We've got Shirley over there. We've got Famous. We've got Dominus won. Oh, look at that little cat with the big nose and big eyes. What's going on there? Little ears as well. That's Kuvambans. Well done to you, and Smith 2029 as well. Awesome job. 64 winners, lots of early winners in the game as well. Making me proud. As always, a truly King-tastic game, everyone. It wasn't as horrifying as you thought, right? You came, you played, you slayed. I'm Sharon Carbonet. You can hit me on the socials right here, Twitter and IG. Hope to see you there. Stop by, say hi. Don't be shy, okay? The fun, of course, is not over yet, people. We've got HQ Words for you coming up next, happening at 9:30 p.m., so keep your phones close. I will be back this weekend, and remember, all work and no play makes Sharon a dull girl.